Some disappearances capture the imagination of the world, not because they are unusual in theory, but because of the audacity of the act. Imagine a busy street in a bustling city, sunlight glinting off glass windows, cars honking, pedestrians moving about, and in the midst of it all, a high-profile socialite simply vanishes. No struggle, no witnesses able to fully explain what happened, no trace left behind. The news spreads like wildfire, headlines screaming, investigators baffled, and the public consumed with speculation. This is the story of a woman whose life of privilege, power, and influence did not protect her from the shadows that awaited in plain sight. What seemed like a random, unthinkable disappearance slowly revealed itself to be a meticulously orchestrated event, one that would leave authorities questioning everything they thought they knew about trust, danger, and the vulnerability of even the most visible lives. The day everything changed. It began as a perfect spring afternoon. The socialite, known for her high-profile parties, philanthropy, and frequent media appearances, had a full schedule of meetings, charity events, and interviews. Cameras and journalists followed her every move, but that day, she seemed unusually focused, almost tense, as if sensing something beneath the surface of her glamorous life. She left her luxury apartment at noon, accompanied only by a small entourage, and stepped into a town bustling with activity. People waved, drivers slowed, and the city seemed alive with its usual rhythm. But in the midst of the ordinary, the extraordinary occurred. Within minutes, she was gone. Her car was found in its parking space, unlocked, keys inside. Her handbag, phone, and personal belongings were untouched. Witnesses reported seeing her speaking with a man who appeared casual but attentive. No one suspected danger. And then, in a matter of moments, she vanished as if swallowed by the city itself. The immediate chaos. The immediate reaction was disbelief. Security footage captured her walking down the street, talking to her companion, but no camera caught her disappearance. Eyewitnesses described fleeting shadows and hurried movements. People who swore they saw her enter an alley, or a doorway, or even a car she never emerged from. Panic spread quickly. Police officers arrived, securing the area and canvassing witnesses. The media descended, broadcasting live images of the streets she had walked moments earlier. Social media exploded with speculation, theories, and false sightings. Her family issued desperate pleas, begging anyone with information to come forward. But even as the city buzzed with activity, the most chilling fact remained. No trace of her could be found, and no evidence suggested she left voluntarily. This was not a disappearance caused by fear, rebellion, or secrecy. It was something far more deliberate, far more calculated. A high-profile investigation. Given her prominence, the investigation was immediate, thorough, and relentless. Federal authorities joined local law enforcement. Private investigators, hired by her family, combed the city block by block. Drone footage, traffic cameras, and digital tracking were analyzed, yet no clear leads emerged. Patterns that normally reveal a person's movements, credit card activity, cell phone signals, GPS data, provided nothing. It was as if she had ceased to exist the moment she stepped off the street into the urban chaos. But investigators noticed something subtle. The man she had spoken to on the street, initially dismissed as a passerby, appeared to have been waiting specifically for her. His movements were calm, precise, and deliberate, calculated in a way that suggested he knew exactly who she was, where she would be, and when to act. The suspects and theories. As the investigation progressed, multiple theories emerged. Some speculated she had staged her own disappearance, a way to escape media scrutiny or family pressure, but those closest to her denied any such plan. Others suggested a ransom situation, given her wealth and influence, but no communications were received, no demands made. Then came the possibility that someone from her social circle, a disgruntled associate, a jealous rival, or a personal acquaintance was involved. Investigators began interviewing friends, employees, and partners. They discovered that while she appeared public-facing and powerful, she had conflicts behind the scenes. Rivalries in business, tensions in her philanthropic ventures, and personal disputes that had simmered quietly. Each lead seemed promising until it dissolved under scrutiny. The more they learned, the clearer it became that this disappearance was carefully engineered to leave almost no evidence, almost no witnesses, and almost no trace. The breakthrough clue. After weeks of dead ends, a breakthrough emerged from an unlikely source: a small private security camera from a nearby boutique. It captured a reflection in a window, not of the socialite herself, but of a van parked on the street, doors closed, engine running, seemingly waiting. Enhancing the footage revealed something chilling. Her reflection was seen approaching the van, stepping inside, and then disappearing behind the tinted glass. There were no screams, no struggle, no sound. The footage indicated she was coerced, persuaded, or forced to enter willingly, but it left a critical question unanswered: by whom and why? Investigators realized they were no longer chasing a random disappearance. They were unraveling a carefully orchestrated abduction, executed in broad daylight, with precision that suggested both planning and intimate knowledge of her schedule. Digging into the social circle, authorities turned their attention to her personal network. Friends and acquaintances were re-interviewed, emails examined, and phone records meticulously traced. Patterns emerged: late-night meetings, unusual transactions, cryptic messages between associates. One aide revealed that she had mentioned feeling watched and pressured in recent weeks, though no details were given. Business disputes came under scrutiny, revealing potential motives ranging from financial gain to revenge. The challenge was separating speculation from evidence. Every lead had to be validated, yet the high-profile nature of the case meant pressure from the media, and public demanded answers fast. Behind the scenes, investigators began to piece together a timeline of who knew what, who could be where, and how someone could have executed such a flawless disappearance without leaving a trace in a crowded urban environment. The darkness behind the glamour. As the investigation deepened, a portrait emerged of a city where wealth, influence, and visibility offered no protection. The socialite's life had appeared perfect, glamorous, and untouchable. But in reality, it had vulnerabilities: a reliance on trust in the wrong people, exposure through public appearances, and personal conflicts that made her a target. Investigators realized that the audacity of the disappearance depended on her visibility. If she had vanished quietly, it might never have drawn attention. But vanishing in broad daylight, in full view of cameras and pedestrians, was both a message and a warning. No one is truly safe, no matter their status, when someone with planning, patience, and motive decides to act. The resolution, or lack thereof. Months passed. Leads were pursued, suspects questioned, and technology scoured. Some pieces of evidence suggested ransom motives, others pointed toward personal vendettas. Yet despite every effort, the socialite remained missing. Her family offered large rewards for information, private investigators expanded the search beyond the city, and cold case teams monitored activity that could be connected. The city itself felt the ripple effect. Businesses increased security, residents were wary of strangers, and the media continued to speculate. What became clear is that this disappearance was a masterclass in planning, exploiting visibility, and human behavior. And even decades later, while theories abound and some suspects are long gone, the truth of what happened that afternoon remains elusive. The lessons of a broad daylight vanishing. This case demonstrates a chilling reality. No amount of wealth, influence, or visibility guarantees safety. Someone with knowledge, preparation, and intent can strike anywhere, even under the eyes of hundreds of witnesses. It also highlights how appearances can deceive, glamour and power can mask vulnerability, and public attention can be exploited by those with dark intent. Finally, it underscores the challenges law enforcement faces when investigating meticulously planned disappearances, especially in dense urban settings where evidence can be erased in moments. The case remains a cautionary tale for anyone who believes visibility equates to protection. And that is the story of the mysterious vanishing of a high-profile socialite in broad daylight, a case that shocked a city, baffled investigators, and remains unsolved to this day. It is a reminder that danger can strike anyone, anywhere, and that sometimes the most calculated threats hide in plain sight. Her story challenges us to consider the fragility of security, the limits of public scrutiny, and the shadows that lurk behind even the brightest lights. While she may never return, the mystery continues to intrigue, warn, and haunt a lasting lesson that no one, no matter their status, is truly untouchable.